Barry Gibb was born on September 1st, 1946, in Douglas on the Isle of Man, a quiet place far removed from the global stages he would one day command. The second of 5 children born to Hugh and Barbara Gibb, Barry grew up in a household where music was not just entertainment, but a shared language. From an early age, it was clear that Barry possessed an unusual sensitivity to melody and emotion. He didn't simply sing songs. He felt them. When the Gibb family moved to Australia in the late 1950s, Barry and his younger brothers, twins Robin and Maurice, began performing wherever they could, from radio shows to small venues. These early experiences weren't glamorous, but they were formative. Barry naturally emerged as the leader, shaping the group's sound and direction, laying the foundation for what would eventually become one of the most influential musical legacies of the 20th century. The rise of the Bee Gees and Barry's creative voice. When the Gibb family returned to England in the early 1960s, Barry and his brothers entered a music scene bursting with possibility. It was during this time that the Bee Gees began to find their voice, both literally and creatively. Songs like New York Mining Disaster, 1941, To Love Somebody, and Massachusetts revealed Barry's gift for storytelling and emotional honesty. His songwriting wasn't flashy. It was deeply human. He wrote about longing, loss, and hope in a way that resonated across borders and generations. Barry's leadership within the group wasn't about control, but vision. He understood how to blend 3 distinct voices into something unified and powerful. Even before global superstardom arrived, Barry was already earning respect as a songwriter who could turn simple feelings into timeless music, setting the Bee Gees apart from their peers. Reinvention, disco, and a voice that defined an era. The 1970s marked a dramatic transformation for the Bee Gees, and Barry Gibb stood at the center of it. As musical trends shifted, Barry embraced change rather than resisting it. His now legendary falsetto emerged not as a gimmick, but as a bold, creative choice that reshaped pop music. Songs like Stayin' Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love became cultural landmarks, driven by Barry's unmistakable voice and emotional intensity. The Saturday Night Fever soundtrack turned the Bee Gees into global icons and defined the disco era. Yet beneath the success, Barry remained focused on craft rather than fame. He understood that music had to evolve or risk becoming irrelevant. This ability to reinvent himself while staying emotionally authentic is one of the reasons Barry Gibb's influence continues to endure long after trends have faded. Life beyond the Bee Gees and a personal creative chapter. As the Bee Gees' recording era drew to a close, Barry Gibb did not step away from music. Instead, he entered a quieter, more personal phase of creativity. Collaborations with artists like Michael Jackson, including the song All in Your Name, reflected Barry's continued relevance and his belief in music as a force for unity. He also began writing songs that felt more introspective, rooted in memory, family, and reflection. Supporting his son Steve Gibb's musical work revealed another side of Barry, the father who took pride in passing creativity to the next generation. These later projects weren't about chart positions. They were about meaning. Barry had nothing left to prove, yet he continued to create, showing that true artists don't stop because the spotlight dims. They keep going because music is who they are. Love, family, and the anchor of a lasting marriage. Barry Gibb's personal life has been marked by both lessons and lasting love. His first marriage, entered into at a young age, reflected the challenges of balancing fame with emotional maturity. It ended quietly, leaving Barry wiser and more grounded. His second marriage, to Linda Gray in 1970, became the cornerstone of his life. Linda provided stability, warmth, and unwavering support through decades of success and loss. Together they raised 5 children, creating a family life that Barry always described as his greatest achievement. Despite global fame, Barry consistently emphasized the importance of home. Linda was not just his wife, but his anchor.
In an industry known for broken relationships, their enduring marriage stands as a testament to loyalty, patience, and shared values, offering Barry a sense of normalcy in a world that rarely allows it. Loss, resilience, and carrying the legacy forward. The later years of Barry Gibb's life have been shaped by profound loss. The deaths of his brothers Maurice and Robin were devastating, leaving Barry as the last surviving Bee Gee. Yet rather than retreating from the world, Barry chose to honor their memory through continued creativity and public presence. He spoke openly about grief, acknowledging that it never truly leaves but can be transformed into purpose. Barry's resilience has
made him a symbol of endurance, not just in music, but in life. His knighthood in 2018 recognized not only his artistic contributions, but his character. Through sorrow, Barry carried the Bee Gees' legacy forward with grace, ensuring that the music remained alive, not frozen in nostalgia, but remembered as something living and deeply human. Discovering Roy Orbison, a voice that changed everything. Long before Barry Gibb met Roy Orbison, he knew him through sound. Roy's voice was unlike anything else in popular music, haunting, vulnerable, and powerful all at once. For Barry, Orbison wasn't just an influence, he was a revelation. Songs like Crying and Only the Lonely demonstrated that music could be emotionally fearless. Roy didn't hide pain. He sang straight through it. Barry often reflected on how Orbison's willingness to expose emotional truth helped shape his own songwriting approach. While many artists chased style, Roy chased honesty. That distinction mattered deeply to Barry. Even as a young man navigating fame, Barry understood that the kind of artistry Roy represented was rare, and that true greatness came from emotional courage, not image or trends. Meeting Roy Orbison. Quiet strength and gentle humanity. When Barry Gibb finally met Roy Orbison, what struck him most was not star power but humility. Roy was soft-spoken, reserved, and almost shy off stage. There was no ego, no performance when the spotlight was off. Yet the moment Roy stepped on stage, he transformed completely. Barry described it as witnessing something almost spiritual, a man channeling emotion through sound. Their encounters over the years were marked by mutual respect rather than competition. Roy never spoke about his own greatness, and that silence spoke volumes. In an industry filled with loud personalities, Roy's quiet confidence left a lasting impression on Barry. He saw firsthand that strength didn't need volume, and that authenticity could be more powerful than any showmanship. Roy Orbison's comeback and a legacy that endures. Barry Gibb watched with admiration as Roy Orbison experienced a powerful resurgence in the late 1980s. Through collaborations with the Traveling Wilburys, Roy reached a new generation of listeners who finally recognized his timeless brilliance. For Barry, this comeback felt deeply deserved. Roy's voice hadn't aged. If anything, it carried even more weight. His sudden passing in 1988 was a shock that left Barry heartbroken. The loss felt personal, not just cultural. Barry often reflected on how grateful he was to have lived in a time when Roy Orbison existed, sang, and shared his gift with the world. Roy's influence didn't end with his life. It continued in every artist who learned that vulnerability could be strength. Barry Gibb's truth. What Roy Orbison truly represented now in the later years of his life. Barry Gibb speaks about Roy Orbison with clarity and reverence. To Barry, Roy wasn't just a singer, he was a reminder of what music is meant to be. Honest, emotional, and unguarded. Barry believes Roy's greatest lesson was that music should never be about showing off. It should be about telling the truth. That belief has guided Barry throughout his career, from the Bee Gees' earliest harmonies to his most personal later works. In sharing his truth about Roy Orbison, Barry offers more than a tribute. He offers a philosophy that real artistry endures not because it is loud, but because it is real.